Welcome to Channing Memorial Church Sunday web service. I'm glad that you've joined us for this service for a reflection about what it means to be a community and not just a group of people coming together to share an interest. To keep with our theme today, I'm wearing my Channing team ball cap and my Channing Church t-shirt. But let's now begin our service with the lighting of our Unitarian Universalist symbol, the flaming chalice. I light it today to honor the Channing Memorial Church community that has been part of Newport for 185 years, having weathered social strife, wars, financial downturns, and now a pandemic. We are a strong community. Let this flame affirm for us the light of understanding, the warmth of sharing, the fire of justice, and life as a community of faith. Have you noticed the word community is being used a lot in television ads these days? Car companies and insurance companies and furniture stores and others are talking about helping their community of clients and customers get through the virus situation. A browser around the internet the other day, as I was looking for a recipe, brought up several online grocery and cooking sites that invite people to become part of their food community. The term community seems to be used as a catch-all phrase for anything that has to do with a collection of human beings. The word community is really hot now in advertising and marketing, sales, and the event world, often used to try to make a random group of people think that they are part of something more personal than a customer business transaction. So I got to thinking about, what does community mean? What does it mean to say a group of people is a community, such as a church community? And does it matter if they are scattered over many miles in their homes, looking at a computer screen to see each other, as we are now doing? For the longest time, location was the criteria for a group of people to be thought of as a community. It was used to mean a literal place in the world, or a group of people living in a specific place. And that's because, historically, people focused their lives on a community and were identified by the places that they lived or from which they came. But as Fabian Fortmuller, the co-founder of a consulting group, Together Institute, notes in an essay about community structure, our village or neighborhood isn't necessarily our key definer to identity or fellowship. We have shifted from being born into a community to now choosing our own communities and expressing our identities through them. So now, if it's not location as the defining characteristic, what characteristics make a group of individuals a real community? And not just a group of individuals who have the same interest or philosophy, or in the same profession, or buy the same brand of car, or love a particular sports team. To consider which assemblage of people should be seen as a real community and which are just a group of people with the word community attached to them for advertising or marketing, We need to look at the underlying purpose of the group as an important identifying or defining element. There are really two basic types of communities. One type of community primarily exists for people to take care of themselves. The members come together to support each other, learn from each other, inspire each other. They feel a sense of fellowship and close belonging together. They are ultimately about person-to-person relationships. The other type is a group of people which assemble to pursue an externally directed goal, such as being a sports team, undertaking projects or initiatives, being a business or a political campaign. Think of an organization formed to support women's rights or advocate for LGBT rights, or a group organized to beautify the boulevards in a city, or raise money for children having hearing loss, or a team that plays rugby every Sunday afternoon, or a group of blacksmiths who sell homemade horseshoes. Now, internal directed communities can have external activities, just like externally directed communities can have an internal element. But the internal focus of communities to do external activities is only one part of their purpose and is not the primary reason for their existence. External focused communities have an internal directed component as a way to build cohesion to meet their goals, but it's not their primary purpose. While people in external focus groups probably care about each other as acquaintances or even friends, those relationships are secondary to the purpose of the organization. While people in internally focused communities form a trust relationship with each other, come to deeply care about each other, and feel that they belong together. The members of this kind of community share their life stories and hopes and dreams with each other because they feel a close connection to other people. While they probably were random strangers when they came into the community, they have moved past that. They have developed relationships and trust with each other. And the trust that they have developed unlocks collaboration, sharing, support, hope, safety, and much more. The people in an internal community have a sense of their organization as being a home or a family or a tribe, and that other people are peers regardless of the role or status that they have outside of the organization. And so that's why when a fight breaks out among this community, the members are devastated, and it damages both the individuals and the community. The sense of trust and care has been broken, and there is a feeling of personal betrayal, not just organizational betrayal. So one way to think about communities is their focus, internal or external, with internal focus groups being a community. Now there's one other way to think about a community. In April 2017, David Brooks wrote an essay which was published in the New York Times titled, "How to Leave a Mark on People." Brooks divides the world of communities into two types. One he calls a thick community, and the other is a thin community. So this is where I got the title for today's talk. A thick community is one that can be said to have a clear culture and a strong sense of being a community that registers on the members' souls. A thin community can be said to barely leave a memory or have an impact on a person's life. Or as Brooks puts it, passes through our lives with barely a memory. Brooks gives some hallmark attributes to thick communities. Now, thin communities probably have just the opposite characteristics. So he says that a thick community engages the whole person, the heart, the hand, the head, and the soul. It becomes part of a person's identity to themselves. Members desire regular contact with others in the community, and that is important. And people set aside time to engage in meaningful and deep connection with other people. And people in thick communities watch over each other. A thick community has an origin story that is commonly known, often repeated, and told to newcomers. In a thick community, people engage in collective rituals, and they want to be involved in these rituals and pass these rituals on to new people. Thick community has music, perhaps even singing, as an element of the life in the community. There are shared tasks to be done with the expectation that members will take their place, as Marge Piercy says, to work in a row and pass the bags along, to be, in her poem, to be of use. Lived through a time of near failure is another hallmark characteristic of a thick community. And recognizing that it is part of their community and acknowledging the people who pulled them back from the edge of destruction. And finally, a thick community has a sense among its members that this community is here to serve me and us and promote our vision for a better world. With this list of characteristics, it's clear to me that Channing Memorial Church is definitely a community and is a thick community. I've been thinking about Channing Church community these past several weeks. When life in the coronavirus time started for us about 2 months ago, I was concerned that not being able to meet on Sundays would destroy our community. But I know that while this time is stressful for the organization, as a thick community, physical location, though important, is not essential. The essential and central factor are the people. Channing Church is part of our identity for many of us, if not all of us. We have been finding ways to be in contact with each other through Zoom gatherings or phone calls or walks together while maintaining physical distancing. We engage in old rituals like our social groups gathering, although in ways different from before, and we've created new rituals like going to hear the chimers every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. We recognize that tasks still need to be done to keep the organization functioning, and we continue to share them among ourselves. People are stepping up to take on a needed task. We continue to care and watch over each other. We continue to work to make the world a better place in our individual and collective ways. For example, we have financially supported 2 Newport food pantries. And even though conditions have changed for all of us, our sense of a shared Unitarian Universalist moral culture is still firmly in our minds and our hearts. And I know, importantly, from my conversations, that we continue to feel that we are in community. We are a thick, deep community that will get through this traumatic time. We are Channing Memorial Church community. So be it. For our time of sharing today, I'm lighting the candle with thoughts about all of us. Now, each of us have our own joys and sorrows and concerns and moments of gratitude, because life goes on as we continue to live through a most unique period of time. So, as I light this candle, I invite you to share, even with spoken words, into the universe, your thoughts, your joys, your sorrows, and your concerns. Some of us are old enough that we may remember the television variety show Sing Along with Mitch. Throughout the show, Mitch Miller would face the camera and say, "Sing along, just follow the bouncing ball." Now, we don't have a bouncing ball today, but we do have the lyrics to sing as Janet Grant plays Spirit of Life. I invite us now to settle back, to be together across the miles in a time of spoken meditation by the Reverend Victoria Weinstein. The church is a body. May it be together in a spirit of hope. May it feel held by comfort, and may it give comfort to all. The church is a body as strong as all the people who have gathered within its walls, who labored and dreamed through the years. The church is a story of lives that are interwoven for the purpose of caring and seeking, learning and serving. The church is a vision of unity amid diversity, a vision of bringing justice to the world by our endeavors. May this community know hope, joy, and resilience, and continue to grow in understanding, compassion, and love. Amen. Our Chanting Sunday web service will be here next week. Please join us again and tell your friends to check us out. If you like this service or any of the past services, please like us on Facebook, if that's the platform you are using to watch us, or put a comment in YouTube under our broadcast so we know that what you are thinking about our service. If you usually put money in the offering plate on a Sunday morning, please consider sending a check to the church for what your gift would have been. Even though we are not meeting in person, we still have many expenses. And finally, I invite you to send a selfie to the church office at channingchurch.org. I plan to incorporate pictures of the congregation in future videos. The end of our service has come. And as we go about our task this week, may we carry our faith and our community into the world, showing care, compassion, and justice for all today and into our future. So be it.